Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. Let's talk about Apple Trade-in. Trade-in, upgrade, save. It's a win-win-win. With Apple Trade-in, you can get a great value for your current device. We make it easy to apply the value toward a purchase today or get it on a gift card to use later. Either way, you're not getting cash, okay? And you can do it all online or at any Apple store. Nearest one for me is Toronto. So 4 hours away. If your device isn't eligible for credit, we'll recycle it for free so that you don't make any money off of it selling it to somebody privately online. It's a win-win for you and the planet. Oh yes, congratulations Apple. But what kind of money can we expect? Let's check out Mac systems first. Okay, so these are all the values of estimated trade-in value. Now, it's an up to. So the furthest number, that's the maximum you can expect, which means it's got to be in really great shape to get this kind of money, okay? And Apple is starting to get pickier and pickier on what they're even willing to take in, too. I mean, it could be the fact that it's on the list, like a MacBook, which would be an Intel machine. You can get up to $170. But are they really going to actually take that in now? Because, I mean, remember, Apple is trying to get away from Intel. So I know that they've had a whack load of iMac Pros, which, given their configurations and everything, I'm betting they were new old stock and not refurbished, but some of them may have been. They have some Mac Pro servers and towers on the refurbished store right now that are Intel Macs, and they've all been replaced, of course, by the M2 now. So wait a second. So what specifically are we talking about here? A Mac Pro you can get up to $1,400. A Mac Studio $1,790. It depends on the configuration, right? So, but is this based on top configuration? Is it based on base model configurations? Well, they don't tell you that until you go through all the steps to do your trade-in online. Okay, and you still got to send it to them because these are estimated trade-in values where you can get up to this amount of money. Could you possibly see more money? Probably not, but you never know until you try doing it. But you'll get an estimated value. They'll ask you some questions about your current gear and the condition of it, etc. And they'll give you an estimated value, but that's not set in stone. The true value that you really get is when you send it into them. And that's where they kind of got you on the hanger a little bit because, yeah, well, once you send it into them, whether you shipped it to them or drove it down to the nearest store or whatever, that could create a whole new dilemma for you. Now, keep in mind, when Apple takes these things in, they're going to take them in to put them through the refurbish process, to refurbish them to like new condition. They'll slap on brand new 1-year warranty with optional buy extended Apple Care Plus warranty as well. So it's kind of like buying a brand new Mac, really, because you're going to get all the same benefits on the buyback. But you're going to pay a much higher price. So it's kind of like, well, but you got to think about this. Apple is not doing this to lose money. Okay, they are still making money. So let's say, well, there's an iMac I was looking at. Ladies had it for less than a year. It's base model. It's green. Nice iMac. Gray condition. What she said she paid was total horse hockey. But, okay, some people do get taken to the cleaners. Some people lie just because they rely on other people to be gullible idiots, which happens all the time. I see it on Facebook way too often. And I catch people on this because I'm like, there's no way you paid $1,800 for a base model MacBook Air. It doesn't happen. It's a $1,300 computer and it's base model. Where do you see that you paid $1,800? You didn't. You're a liar. Okay? Trust me. Apple people that know their stuff know this is ludicrous BSing, okay? But there are people that believe those lies and they get suckered and people get all their money back at your expense. So, but there are some honest people up there and that's fine. But the way the trade-in works is it goes toward a purchase, future purpose. okay, or purchase, sorry, not purpose, purchase. So you have to be trading it in to either do an immediate upgrade to a new computer to get some money off, or you, like they said, you get a gift card that you can use. And it's only good with Apple, of course, obviously, because it has no redeemable cash value. So they're not going to give you any kind of money. So in other words, you cannot sell your Mac to Apple. You have to trade it in or trade in toward a credit that you could use that credit for accessories if you wanted to. You could spend that allotment on whatever you want through the Apple Store, and that's fine. That's exactly how it works. And they're not doing this to lose money either. I mean, you think about it. There's a video on YouTube where the guy says it, I think it was the iPhone 15 or 14 or something. Anyway, he says that Apple makes like $160 on that phone. And I'm thinking, no, they don't. Okay? I know for a fact they don't. Apple is a multi-trillion-dollar company. They did it to make money, not lose. Okay? Because if they were only making $160 average on a particular iPhone, and far less than that on something like the SE, right, then they would be bankrupt because they can't work on that kind of a profit margin. So they're working on a very high profit margin because they have a high production level. So the more they have produced of a product, the cheaper that product costs them. So, and they're not going to pay you in value their cost. It's still well below their cost to have that done brand new. Okay, so you are thinking you're getting a better deal when you're not. Okay, so if they're going to give you $490 on an iMac, we'll say, okay, now that would be like a new M1 because that's all they're going to take in, right? So they're going to give you $490 for a computer that was purchased for about $1,800 new. Okay, because these are all Canadian prices on this website here. This is Apple Canada. So they're still giving you a credit that is still, like, their cost is still, much lower. Okay, so they're kind of giving you a little bit, but not much, right? You know what I mean? But they say they're giving you a good value. Okay, so it all works out that no matter how you look at the numbers, they're making huge profit margin, okay? Even though they're refurbishing them and some stuff needs more than others. Like laptops will automatically get usually a new keypad if it needs it. It's definitely getting a new battery. Could I have other parts replaced? No matter what, it's still not costing Apple squat to refurbish that thing. They're not really giving you a good value for even a machine that's under a year old. So yeah, let's take a look at phones, okay? So the only phones they're taking in right now go from the iPhone 7 all the way to the Pro Max. Now, I highly doubt they're taking the 7 because if they're doing it as a favor. You'll never see it on the refurbished site, okay? Never. It's gone. Same as the 8, the 8 Plus, they're gone. 10s, well, that's debatable. But they're not really giving you much for it realistically. It's more like, oh, we'll help you dispose of it, right? Now, the iPhone 12 Pro. Now, they say they're going to give you up to $490. Well, they're going to sell it for about $900 on their website. And they're going to replace the battery in it. They might have to do something else to it. But they're still making a hell of a profit. And remember, it's an up to. If your battery is in bad shape, you're not getting that $490. Okay, not even close. So think about the condition, because condition is where we're basing up price. Up to, based on condition, you could possibly get this. What you actually get depends on when you send it in and they inspect it. That's when the final number comes down, which could definitely be far less than the max number. And you can bet that 99% of the time, you're going to get far less than the maximum, okay? Because these numbers where they list the dollar value, that's the maximum you could hope to see. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, okay? And don't be shocked if you don't, okay? Now, the Apple Watch, that's another one. Okay. They got the Series 4 and 5. These are kind of gone. The first gen is kind of gone. We're basically working on, the Ultra, the 8, the second gen, maybe the Series 7 right now. But the rest of these are kind of like, they're worthless, right? So they're not going to give you much. You'd be better off going to a pawn shop, to be honest. You get a better deal, right? And believe me, you will get a better deal at a pawn shop. iPads. Now that's going to be an interesting one. Buy a new iPad today and get a $55 to $700 credit when you trade in. So you got the Pro, the Air, the iPad, and the Mini. Those are the only ones they're touching. That's it. Okay, nothing else. Other products like Apple TV is in here. Recycle it for free. It is not worth anything to them. Your mouse is not worth anything. Your AirPods are worth nothing. Okay, your AirTags are worth nothing. That speaker is worth nothing to them. So you just send it in, they recycle it for free. Why not sell that mouse? You can get, for the black mouse, you can get $60 used. For the AirPods, well, I won't buy AirPods off anybody. I don't want your friggin' earwax and your cooties in my head. So no, I would never buy that as a used product online. I don't care if they even say used only once, because they use them more than once, trust me, and I still don't want their cooties. The AirTags are something that are reusable. That's not a big deal, okay? And, but thing is they're not worth anything to Apple, okay? Because they can't refurbish and resell these items here. Okay, so what happens when you send in a computer like an iMac with a keyboard and mouse? Are they going to refurbish that keyboard and mouse? No, because they are not meant to even come apart, so you can't even replace the batteries in them. So they just recycle them is what they do. Okay, so your trade-in gets affected even if you're sending in a keyboard and mouse. You're better off selling your keyboard and mouse separately and just sending them the computer, if you're going to do the computer even. But you could get more money privately out of the computer than you're going to out of Apple. It kind of really makes some sense, and we can easily see that sort of thing happening. So let's look at, what do they call this? Device value and credit. Can I get an estimate online, then trade it in at the Apple Store? Yes, blah, 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 blah. Estimated trade-in value received online. If the condition doesn't match your description, then yeah, you're definitely not going to get the max, okay? So you got to tell them the truth, because they're not going to screw around, okay? Why can't I pay monthly after I add my trade-in? In some cases, you will be eligible to receive your trade-in value as an instant credit when you choose monthly payments, reducing the order total. The amount will be financed. If your trade-in value is close to the price of your new device, then the remaining becomes too low to qualify for financing. The thing is, try qualifying for friggin' Apple financing. I got a half-decent credit rating because, I have no problem getting loans, credit cards. Yet I can't get anything through Affirm, which is who they deal with, because they're too strict. They turn down like almost everybody. Like, you don't stand a chance with financing from Apple unless you're making like $300,000 a year. That's idiocy. So let's take a look at this certified refurbished, and let's look at a Mac. So you remember how much those Macs were on trade-in? The iMacs, for example? Well, this is $1,300 for a base model. Okay? Now keep in mind, a lot of these base models are brand new old stock that got shipped over here, because that's exactly what happens. Okay? Not all of these are traded in ones, because they have to do something with the old stock. They're not going to throw it in the garbage. They can sell it and make money, so they'll discount it, because they have to anyways, because the new iMac M3 is only $1,700. So they're not going to charge you $1,700 for an M1 when you can buy an M3 for the same price. So they'll give you a better discount, right? So, and you can start to see different configurations popping up, different prices. They can get higher priced, up to $1,700. Well, what do you get for $1,700? Okay, let's take a look at $1,700. We get 16 gigs of RAM, half a terabyte of space for $1,700. That's actually not a bad deal. Okay, at least it's a lot more than what the M3 is coming with, right? But you can only go to 16 gigs of RAM anyway, and you can go to 2 terabytes of storage. But you can't configure this because it's whatever it was. This is more than likely a computer that was traded in. It was bought modified and its trade-in value. And of course, 1709, so that we do work on maximum prices. So if we go back to Apple Trade-in real quick here, and we take a look, and we go to the Mac, and we look at the iMac, well, they only paid up to $490. Regardless of configuration, they're paying up to $490. Would they pay more because it's 16 by 512? Probably not. It's an up to. This is the maximum that you can expect, up to this amount. Okay? So they gave, let's say they did give the $490. Minus that from 17 is $1,300. They did not put $1,300 worth of work in it, nor are they losing money either. Okay? They're gaining money. And the keyboards and mice cost them virtually nothing, because they're going to give you a new keyboard and a new mouse with it. They're not going to give you somebody's used keyboard and used mouse because, well, they can't even refurbish those parts. And who knows how many cycles are left usable on the batteries in those. So, yeah. And like they showed in the earlier picture, they're not taking in mice, which means they're also not going to take in the keyboards and give you money either. They're going to recycle it for free, which means out to the chute it goes, and it gets turned into a new thing of something down the road. Who knows, right? But think about it first before you decide to do trade-ins. In my opinion, okay, you want my amateur opinion and my expert opinion, I'll give it to you. You'll make more money selling private than you will selling to Apple, okay? The only benefit you have going with Apple is they make it easier to take it off your hands, so you don't have to go through the frustration of selling it on a marketplace or eBay and all the other BS involved with that, okay? And you still have to sign out of the thing and, of course, remove it from your account before you send it in, and it has to be reset because they don't want your junk on there, because they don't want you to give them they don't want you giving them a bricked computer either, or you get nothing. So and I'm sure they can unlock it if they wanted to. They're not going to want to go through that trouble, so they'll just say, nope, sorry, you gave it to us bricked, bye. Who knows how they work that? I don't know. Okay, but what I do know is you can make more money selling it to a pawn shop for quick cash, or you can sell it online, get more money than you would from a pawn shop, or you can take the royal bath of all and trade your stuff in with Apple. Okay, it's kind of up to you how you want to do it, but Apple Trade-in has some quirks to it, and yeah, that's kind of the way it works. But you still will not get a actual final value until you send that product in. It's one thing to do the estimation online, but yeah. And you'll find out too with your particular Mac what you want to trade in, if they're even going to accept it. Because again, they are reducing what they're accepting. They don't want to have a bunch of Intel Macs available for sale, so they're likely not even going to touch anything Intel Mac anymore, unless it's worth something, like the Mac Pro Tower and the Mac Pro servers. iMac Pros, they still might take in. They still might take in a 2018 Mac Mini, but I highly doubt it. The last actual brand new one that actually hit the refurbished store actually got sold. They had about 15 or 20 iMac Pros in various configurations not even 2 months ago, all of which are gone. All they have left for Intel Macs now on the website are just some Mac Pro Towers, and some Mac Pro servers. That's it for Intel, okay? So, and like I said, they're getting pickier and pickier all the time. But hey, you know what? Do your shopping, take your chances, see how it works out for you. I mean, you're not obligated to accept their offer, but you pay for the shipping to ship that to them, and likelihood you're going to be paying for return shipping if you do not want to take their final offer. But most people that send it in, they're going to just take whatever they can get and be done with it. And I think you would do better just going the private route, waiting for the right buyer, and go from there. Just don't be ludicrous in your pricing, because nobody will touch your stuff if it's overpriced. And we do see an awful lot of that in marketplace still. Like, why would I pay $1,400 for a base model iMac when I can get basically a brand spanking new one for $1,300 from Apple's website right now? I mean, use some logic here, okay? You know, and a new warranty and the Apple Care, right? So why would I pay $1,400 for that green machine that somebody has that I saw in Marketplace today when I can get one of the other existing colors that I prefer more anyway for $1,300 from Apple? I mean, think about it. There are benefits here. People charge too much for their used stuff. You got to be realistic or it's not going to move anywhere too. So anyway, that's what I got. Thanks for watching. See ya.